The day Sawyer Wren stopped walking. Sawyer Wren didn't believe in second chances until a barefoot little girl holding an infant outside a hospital made him stop walking. For the first time in years, he started feeling. Sawyer believed in results, not emotions. He had built his empire through discipline, efficiency, and an unwavering belief that logic always trumped empathy. His schedule was meticulously planned, his conversations calculated, and his compassion at least by his own admission non-existent. He walked through the city like a man on a mission, never slowing, never looking around. That Thursday afternoon, his destination was the city's medical complex, where he intended to finalize a partnership that would expand his company's pharmaceutical reach and deliver a healthy uptick in quarterly profits. He wasn't there to notice anyone, and yet for reasons he couldn't explain it did. Near the stone steps that led up to the hospital's glass doors, Sawyer spotted a small figure from the corner of his eye. A girl, maybe 6, maybe younger, sat hunched over a bundle of pink cloth. At first, he assumed she was waiting for someone. But as he drew closer, he saw her wide, exhausted eyes. The bundle in her arms shifted slightly, revealing the pale face of a sleeping baby, maybe just a few months old. Her blonde hair was matted and tangled, her limbs thin, her small body holding the infant with care that defied her age. Sawyer stopped. He didn't stop, ever. But something about the silence of the child, the way she clutched the baby against the chaos of the hospital entrance, made his feet freeze. She wasn't crying. She wasn't begging. She was just holding on. He crouched beside her, keeping his voice low and even. "Hey there," he said softly. "Are you okay? Are you waiting for someone?" The girl looked up, her expression flat with fatigue, but her eyes clear. "We're not lost," she said plainly. "My sister needs milk. Mommy's in a coma." Sawyer blinked, startled by her clarity. He looked at the baby, cheeks pale, one tiny hand curled against the blanket. She wasn't crying, just very quiet. Too quiet. The girl adjusted the wrap around her sister, her movements gentle. "Where's your dad?" he asked. "We don't have one," she replied. "He left before Rose was born." She swallowed, then added, "They put us in a place after the crash. But they didn't take care of Rose. So I took her. I had to." Sawyer felt something shift deep in his chest, an emotion too complex to name, sharp and unfamiliar. People walked by them, oblivious. He should have called child services. He should have walked away and let the system do its job. Instead, he reached for his phone. "Cancel my meeting," he told his assistant. Something more important just came up. He turned back to the girl. "Let's go inside. We'll get your sister warm and fed. You can hold her the whole time, I promise." She hesitated, but then nodded. He offered his hand. She took it. Inside, Sawyer steered them away from the main desk, finding a quiet lounge near the pediatric wing. The lighting was soft, the chairs cushioned, and the noise minimal. She sat down slowly, still cradling the baby. "What's your name?" he asked. "Ellie," she said. "And this is Rose." Sawyer nodded. He called Dr. Jana Cray, a pediatrician he trusted from a corporate program. He didn't explain much, just said it was urgent. A nurse arrived minutes later. Sawyer briefed her quietly. "Her name is Rose. She hasn't eaten. She's cold. Her sister's been taking care of her." The nurse approached Ellie gently. "You can stay with her the whole time, sweetheart. No one's taking her away." Ellie relaxed just enough to let the nurse examine Rose, though she never let go of the baby completely. Rose was tiny, underfed, and too quiet for a child her age. Dr. Cray arrived and assessed her with professional calm. "She needs warmth, food, and observation," she said. "But this little one," she nodded toward Ellie, "has kept her alive under conditions that would break most adults." Sawyer didn't speak, but something inside him fractured and reshaped. He returned to the lounge and watched Ellie feed Rose from a bottle the nurse prepared. Her hands trembled, but her focus was unwavering. When the bottle emptied and Rose drifted off, Sawyer knelt beside Ellie again. "Would you come with me?" he asked. "Just for tonight. Somewhere warm. Somewhere safe." Ellie looked down at Rose. "Only if I can hold her the whole time." Sawyer nodded. "That's a promise." He signed a temporary care form and carried Ellie and Rose to his car. She wouldn't sit in the booster seat, so he fastened her in, curled tightly around her sister. As the city lights blurred past, Sawyer stared at the road, not knowing what came next but knowing without question he couldn't let them go. At his high-rise apartment, Ellie hesitated. Sawyer opened the door, but didn't rush her. She looked up at the glass tower, then stepped out barefoot and silent. Inside, the apartment was cold and impersonal glass, steel, and neutral tones. A fortress of power completely unprepared for two children. Sawyer led her to the guest room. She paused at the door. "Is there a lock on the inside?" she asked. He nodded. She stepped inside without another word. Later, he brought her warm milk. She was sitting on the bed, still holding Rose. "I'm not supposed to talk to strangers," she said. "That's smart," Sawyer replied. "But I want to help. I won't do anything you don't want." She studied him carefully. "Why did you stop?" He thought for a moment. "I don't know," he said honestly, "but I'm glad I did." That night, Sawyer didn't sleep. He stayed in his office, searching hospital records and CPS files. He called his assistant and asked her to find Madison, pierce the name Ellie had given for her mother. Within an hour, he had confirmation. Madison had been in a coma for 2 months after a severe car crash. No family had come forward. Ellie and Rose had been placed in emergency care. The report noted that Ellie had gone missing. No follow-up. No uplift. She had vanished and no one had looked. Sawyer stared at the screen, stunned. How could a 6-year-old disappear without setting off alarms? He leaned back in his chair, the weight of responsibility crashing down on him. He wasn't used to this kind of risk. Not emotional. Not real. But now he was in it. And he didn't want out. The next morning, he found Ellie awake in the guest room, still holding Rose. "Did she eat?" he asked. Ellie nodded. "From the bottle you made." She didn't cry much. "You kept her safe," he said. Ellie stared at him. They didn't care in that place. They said someone would come. But no one did. "You're not going back," Sawyer said simply. She relaxed slightly. He brought her toast. She ate it slowly, like someone used to making food last. By noon, his assistant Dana arrived with supplies, clothes, formula, diapers. Ellie flinched at first, but relaxed when Dana offered her a soft pink sweater. "I thought you might like this one," Dana said with a smile. That afternoon, Dr. Cray returned. Rose's weight was still low, but she was stable. "She's strong," the doctor said. "So, is her sister?" Later, Ellie wandered the apartment. She didn't touch anything, just took in the space like she expected it to vanish. She stopped at the kitchen, staring at the sterilized bottles. "Is this all for her?" "Yes," Sawyer said. "They didn't have this stuff where we were," she whispered. "I use cold water for bottles." He didn't know what to say, so he just nodded, silently vowing she'd never have to do that again. Over dinner, Ellie studied him. "Are you rich or something?" "I run a company," he said. She frowned thoughtfully. "Do you still think that's what matters?" He looked at her and at Rose, sleeping nearby. Not anymore. The 5th day began with rain tapping softly against the windows. Ellie stood watching, hands folded, not holding Rose for once. Sawyer brought her a fresh bottle. "She slept well," Ellie said. "She's doing better." He nodded. "That's because you're doing everything right." Ellie turned toward him. "Do you think my mom will wake up?" "I hope so," he said. "She's still fighting." Ellie nodded. She used to sing to Rose, even when she was tired. Later, Sawyer got a call from Evelyn, his legal counsel. The CPS files were incomplete. No family had stepped forward. No one had searched for Ellie. "If you want temporary guardianship," Evelyn said, "we can start now. But it won't stay quiet." "Do it," he said. That night, Ellie sat beside him, drawing with crayons. "Most people ask what happened," she said. "You didn't. I figured you'd tell me when you were ready." "They told me families break," she said after a pause. "But maybe not forever." "No," he said softly. "Sometimes someone shows up and helps put the pieces back together." She smiled, small but real. The next morning, news came. Madison had opened her eyes. She wasn't fully conscious, but it was something. Sawyer told Ellie. "She's waking up?" she whispered. "Yes," he said. "Can we go see her?" "Yes. Rose can come too." At the hospital, Ellie stood by her mother's bed. Madison's eyes fluttered open. Ellie whispered, I didn't leave her, Mom. I kept her safe. Madison's lips moved, her eyes recognizing her daughter. Back in the hallway, Ellie looked up at Sawyer. She knew me, she said. He placed a hand over hers. That night, she drew a picture and gave it to him. A hospital room, a girl holding a baby, a man nearby with a hand on her shoulder. At the top, it read, We're not alone now. And for once, Sawyer Wren knew what it meant to be home.